Hello, Southridge family. I pray that you are doing well and even surviving and thriving during this crazy time that we're living through. It is certainly unprecedented, and it is a little weird too, I think. I think we're all having a little hard time adjusting to staying at home, being separated, not having contact with people, at least physically. It was driven home to me the other day when Pam and I were out for a quick walk, and someone was walking towards us, and they just kind of crossed the street so they wouldn't even be near us. And as I was thinking about that, I was thinking for a certain generation who are listening to this message, we were trained for this in elementary school. You remember that game, so-and-so's got cooties, and you would run away because you didn't want to get touched by them? I think that was training for the COVID-19 crisis that we're facing now. A little more serious than cooties, though, obviously. I do want to thank a number of the people who have just jumped in over the last couple of weeks, volunteers who have been helping us put on our services, our live services, volunteers who've been doing a ton of work behind the scenes to make sure our social media is up and running and having stuff go out, but also a lot of volunteers who are doing a great job of caring for others. They're phoning people, they're Zooming people, they're just making sure people are okay and they're touching base with them. So thank you very much for all of you who are doing that, and thank you for those who are continuing to give and support the things that we are doing here at Southridge. I wanted to give you a quick update on a few things that is coming up. We've made the decision, and this should surprise no one, that for the following 3 Sundays, we will not be meeting. We will be doing online services as we have for the last 2 weeks. And if you're doing your math, you'll realize that that includes Easter Sunday. And so we will be doing Easter Sunday online and hopefully doing it live and having a great time together celebrating the most important thing that we know to celebrate, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And so I'm asking and hoping that you'll join us for that, and you will continue to join us on Sunday mornings on the live broadcast that we're doing each week. Special thank you to John for the work he did in putting together the family video. And if you have a family with kids in elementary school or preschool age and didn't get a chance to see what he did last Sunday, I encourage you to access our website and watch that. And he's going to produce another one that we're going to put up this coming Sunday. And he's helping your family get ready for Easter. And he's walking that road using the resurrection eggs. And I would encourage you to help your family get ready for Easter. A couple of Sundays ago, we provided a Bible reading plan that would take you to Easter. And so if you haven't started that or haven't done that, I encourage you to do that. Jump into our Bible reading plan. You can find it on our website to do that. Good Friday, for those of you who've been around for a couple of years, you know that we've joined other churches in Langley to celebrate Good Friday. And so this year, we are not going to be meeting physically together. We are still in conversation about how to do that maybe online. So you'll get some information, so pay attention to your social media feeds. We will let you know what we're going to do for a Good Friday service, hopefully by the beginning of next week. And in talking about social media, you may have noticed that we are becoming more active on our social media as a church. And so we're intentionally trying to do a number of things throughout the week. A couple of the things we're doing is giving you some prayer requests 2 or 3 times a week, that as a church we can come together and pray for certain things that are going on. We're also, I've asked some of our staff to start writing some blogs just as encouragement, just as things to think about. And so they will be posted throughout the week as well, and our social media will alert you to when that is. And we're also just trying to have fun. Even in this serious time, it is always good to have laugh. It is to laugh, and it is always good to just not take things so seriously. So a couple of times a week, we'll try and do something fun that you can interact with and we can get together on. And we're also asking our community groups to come together, our small groups to come together and have some face-to-face chats online. Our community group did it last night, and we had a great time of just connecting and talking and sharing with each other, praying for each other, and just even looking at God's Word. So I encourage you to do that with your community group. It is a great way to stay connected. And so the last time I talked to you, I shared some opportunities that might come up, and I just wanted to bring an update on that. This past week, we have been able to help a number of families from James Hill. 15 in fact, where we were able to make some deliveries of food and activities for their kids to keep them engaged for the week. And it has been a huge blessing to these families. And so thank you for our volunteers who helped put that together. And thank you for those who gave to help us fund this small project. And it's been a blessing to these families. I would also just want to highlight that if you're in a community group, you probably got a message from Pastor Wes that the Langley Food Bank is actually looking for volunteers to serve. They have lost a number of their volunteers because of the COVID crisis, and so they need some volunteers. So just respond to Pastor Wes through your community group leader if you're interested in doing that. One thing I do want to let you know that as Churches of Langley, the pastors have been chatting and talking, and one of the ideas that we have, and we're going to try and put this together, hopefully starting next week, is an advertising campaign to the city of Langley that will go out on social media, that will basically just offer people, if they need help in any way, to contact the Churches of Langley. And that those, as people are contacting the Churches of Langley, those will be divided up between the churches, and that'll give us an opportunity to just help people who are in need in our community. So as a Southridge, we are going to be part of that, and I look forward for the opportunity of us being involved in our community in this way. I also want to remind you of one thing I just challenged you last week on, and that was phone two people. Just a simple challenge that each one of us could easily accomplish. And I've heard a few stories back already of people who've taken that up. They've been making a couple phone calls every day, and just the blessing it's been not only in conversations with others, but the blessing they've received in talking with people. This is an incredibly important way that we just show care for each other, and it's such a simple thing to do, especially if you're at home. So I encourage you to take up the challenge, phone two people every day, and phone another two people the following day. And if you're not sure what phone two people means, maybe you need to hear it in Spanish. It's telefono dos personas. And so if you just maybe need a second language to help you remember that this is a great way to connect with our community. I know that a number of people are struggling in our church. And as I've had conversations with a few, people are starting to get laid off. And so there's a lot of concern out in our church family. And so I want to, make sure that you know that we're here for you. And if you have some issues or some things that you think we could help you with, please don't hesitate to let us know here at the office or your community or group leader or your small group leader. Please don't let pride or other things stop you from reaching out. This is the time to be connected, not the time to be isolated. I'd also encourage those of you who are listening, if you know someone in our church who maybe struggles with depression, that this would be an amazing time to reach out for them. This will be an especially hard time for those who are struggling with mental health issues. And it's one way, if you just phone them, email them, try and connect with them, that will help brighten their day, help them feel connected, and help them not to feel so isolated during this time. I know, as far as I know, there's no one in our church who has been diagnosed or who has had a confirmed case of COVID-19. But that will probably change over the weeks to come. Probably many of you now have a friend who has had a friend who's either diagnosed or confirmed with COVID-19. I was talking to a friend of mine last night who actually had a friend who's passed away from it in the States. And so this is starting to become more and more a reality for us and to us. And so as we look into the future, knowing that this is going to get probably worse before it gets better, and it's going to affect us even more than it is now, I thought I would just leave you with a couple of verses out of Isaiah. In Isaiah 43, it says this, "Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have summoned you by name, you are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. The flames will not set you ablaze, for I am the Lord your God." Great words to put right in your heart, guys. Meditate on that this week, and I'll talk to you again in a week's time. Thanks.